Donda 2 as a project is something that I think really highlights the apex of Kanye's trap sound, with the project originally starting as a collab tape with Future. Along with trap, Kanye was also dipping his toes into drill at this time, working with 5EO Foreign on Off the Grid and City of Gods to make some really interesting genre fusion listening experiences. But I think Kanye's best attempt at making a drill track is a song that never even officially released, Mr. Miyagi. I would argue there is at least a couple people that think Miyagi is by far the best song made for Donda 2, so in this video, let's explore the song's entire creative process and learn just how we ended up with the absolute banger that we did. As is the trend with like 99% of other Kanye songs, this one presumably just started pretty basic with an initial beat and Kanye freestyling over it. At this point, that's kind of just a required origin point for Kanye making music. It's just we often don't have audio or a recording of his initial freestyle or idea, like in this case. But obviously there had to have been a proto version with longer uncut Kanye vocals, because on later versions of the song he still mumbles a bit, but it's cut up to try to mask it. Because the song was likely around for very early Donda 2 sessions, we know that Future also recorded for the song initially with a version of it being just his vocals, which would be used in conjunction with what Kanye had recorded to build the structure of later versions of Miyagi. As is the case with most Donda 2 stuff, this was likely created in early 2022, probably in late January or early February if I had to guess. Now let's get into the earliest audio we have of Miyagi, with a very early version of the song's beat built around a trap sound. At this point in Miyagi's life, Kanye had not brought in producer AOAA to overhaul the song to focus on drill, so the beat is 100% just trap, with the sample that would be used a bit differently on future versions of the song. Kanye had been utilizing AOAA as his main go-to drill guy for a few months now, enlisting Ayo to produce the drill portion of Off the Grid and the entire City of Gods song. While I don't think AOAA is traditionally a drill person, Kanye pushing him to convert these tracks like Off the Grid and Mr. Miyagi from trap to drill, I feel like really highlights his ability as a producer. The full audio of this early Miyagi actually leaked yesterday, so if you're only familiar with the later sound of drill Miyagi, I would highly recommend you go listen to this original trap beat idea, because it sounds super cool.
Had to put a little bitch on the film. I done took off in the air, I can't see him. Gotta get it before I come in. Throw the chief on my head on my time. I should never come in by the 9. Keep it up with me, one of a kind. Keep it real with me, no need for lying. Run the summer again.
After building up the song with its original beat and vocals from Future, Kanye enlisted collaborators Jalian and I'll Be Back to record reference vocals for the song in hopes that these could be used later on to fully finish his verses. Spoiler, they were never finished. The Jalian reference actually uses the same original trap beat that was present on the first version of Miyagi with Future and Kanye, while the I'll Be Back reference has the first appearance of the drill beat. We only have a snippet of the I'll Be Back reference, but it's been described as having an awesome beat switch, so I'm betting that the beat for this was a midpoint in Miyagi's life where Kanye had it as half trap and half drill, similar to Off the Grid. I will say this now, I really like how the trap version of the beat sounds. The song has a totally different vibe, more akin to like a march or a war chant, whereas the drill version is super fast-paced and high octane. It's crazy how much of the song can change just by switching the drum pattern and tempo essentially from trap to full-on drill.
Keep it up with me, one of a kind. Keep it real with me, no need for lying. Run the summer again. Check my number again. Gave a call to your friend. Switch the number again.
The skin overhead, I'm too much to comprehend. If you just stay home, you're not fun. I ain't got a quest for your love, I'm just drumming your mind. I go bang every time. How much more do you want?
Of course, Kanye had to have his old buddy Digital Nas produce his own rendition of Mr. Miyagi, which seems to take the most inspiration from the trap version of the beat. This one has all of Digital Nas's classic staple production tricks, like the kick and snare being spammed to no end. It seems Nas ended up taking out the drill hi-hats and sliding 808s to bring the song back to a trap focus, which definitely sounds interesting to say the least.
Wonderful. Waterfalls. 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 Waterfalls.
After this, we have a version of the song previewed by Apex Martin on Instagram, with him playing the song on one of the stem players. From this snippet, you can hear that the 808s and kicks are definitely different, and this sounds like Kanye again swinging back into the trap side of things. The 808s aren't really sliding anymore like they do with drill production, and while the hi-hats still kind of have that drill pattern, they are super low-key and kind of evolved in a way that makes this version of Mr. Miyagi sound insanely cool. I really wish Kanye would have found a way to incorporate Apex Martin's 808s into the later versions of the song to contrast with the drill slides.
Hey miss, I'm your Mr. Miyagi. I'm a killer chicken in the Miyagi. Don't tell me in the morning, babe, I'm groggy. Tell me don't FaceTime.
Then moving forward to February 22nd, 2022, we got the first public preview of Mr. Miyagi at the Donda 2 listening event in Miami, where Playboi Carti's involvement was showcased for the first time. It seems Kanye must have had him hop on the track after doing the initial creation and development of the song, but obviously before playing it at the Donda 2 event. This is also the first time we can hear AOAA's drill contributions in full, showing honestly how talented he is as a drill producer. The beat sounds roughly similar to what was being used in the I'll Be Back reference, so I feel like Kanye had a bunch of different versions of the Miyagi beat, like a few trap and a few drill, and he was having everyone record on everything to try to narrow down what sounded best for the song. These are the exact same Kanye and Future vocals that had been used previously, which does disappoint me a little bit because it seems Kanye really wanted to finish this one up, but then he never went back to re-record his verses.
I might take a jet, count backs just for my own bitch. Push up on the op, be on that dance.
What sucks about Miyagi more so than other Donda 2 songs is that Kanye had actually fully planned to drop the song with Future and Playboi Carti in early 2022, but then for some reason decided that he didn't want to. He even worked on and spruced up the song a bit after playing it on February 22nd, adding in a bit more of his vocals from presumably his original freestyle / vocal take to give the song a bit more structure towards the end, but again, there's still mumble and his vocals are rough in places and unfinished. This version of Miyagi is dated March 15th and is supposedly the actual iteration of the song that was going to be sent out to DSPs for release, with the entire thing being censored. I would say with previous songs on Donda 2 and Donda, I didn't really mind the lyrics being censored, but Carti's verse is like 50% swear words that got taken out with this. So I would say here, I definitely do not fuck with the censoring because it destroys Carti's energy for his vocals.
I just thought the fun shit, I just get up. I just thought the fun shit, I just get up.
While this is essentially the final version of Mr. Miyagi, Kanye was still tinkering with its sound, so we have a handful of other iterations of the song exemplifying him changing little things. One such version that leaked is just Kanye and Future vocals over the beat with no drums or 808s, so it's literally just the melody, chords, and acapella. Kind of odd that there is no Carti in this version, maybe because Kanye decided he didn't like it, or it's possible this version is actually a lot older than we think and is one of the original takes with just Kanye and Future. It's just hard to know because there's no drums, and the drums are kind of how you pinpoint, okay, this is trap or this is drill, which would tell us when the beat was made.
I don't fall from name to tools, I don't need the vanity. Pop phone, I keep running pump, I don't pump, BD bump, I don't run a thump for a jump, I go run, we gon' run it up.
There's one last version of Miyagi that leaked that I think we should touch on, and this one seems to be a much later, further developed version with additional production but no Playboi Carti vocals. Considering this is labeled as a much later and further developed version, honestly I have a hunch that maybe Kanye just took Carti off the song for whatever reason, or Carti asked to be taken off the song cause he does that sometimes. That's really the only explanation for why Carti's vocals are removed on these later versions of Miyagi. Honestly, I think it's cause his verse sounds awful censored, and Kanye seemed to be hell-bent on censoring the vocals for Miyagi before dropping it.
Hey miss, I'm your Mr. Miyagi. I'm a picnic chicken in the Balenciaga.
Of all the Donda 2 songs to be scrapped, I think I'm most sad that Miyagi never got the true chance to shine with an official release, because Kanye's drill experimentation sounds phenomenal. City of Gods, Off the Grid, and Mr. Miyagi all together encompass Kanye working on shifting his sound and tone to still maintain what people loved, but dipped into a new coating of drill paint. Based on the new snippets we've gotten for Kanye's upcoming album, it doesn't seem like he's going to be revisiting the drill genre again, which is a real shame because I would personally love to see a full Kanye drill album. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, feel free to leave a like and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this, and let me know down in the comments if you like Mr. Miyagi with the trap or the drill beat better.